Hi friends, welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today we have to discuss about priori analysis and posteriori analysis in data structures course, advanced data structures course, design and analysis of algorithms course. The analysis of an algorithm can be done by using two ways. The first one is priori analysis, second one is posteriori analysis. First of all, what is priori analysis? Priori analysis, priori means before. That means we have to analyze an algorithm before its implementation by using a particular programming language. In priori analysis, the analysis can be done only when it is written by using some theoretical steps. In priori analysis, the analysis can be done by algorithm designer. That means whoever write the algorithm, the analysis can also done by the same person. Next one, in priori analysis, it does not depends on what type of hardware we are using, what type of compiler we are using, because we do not use any compiler, we do not use any programming language, we do not use any hardware for analyzing the algorithm in priori analysis. Next one, priori analysis gives only approximate result, because without executing the algorithm, we have to analyze the algorithm manually by the designer. Because of that reason, it gives the approximate answers. Next one, it is cheaper than posteriori analysis, because in priori analysis, only the algorithm designer can analyze the algorithm manually. He do not use any compiler for calculating the time complexity and space complexity of an algorithm. So that we can say that it is cheaper than posteriori analysis. Next one, priori analysis uses asymptotic notations for representing the time complexity of an algorithm. Time complexity is nothing but how much time it can take for executing the algorithm. After calculating the time complexity manually, for representing that time complexity, we have to use asymptotic notations. Hence, we can say that priori analysis uses asymptotic notations for representing the time complexity of an algorithm. Next one, if the algorithm runs very fastly, then credit goes to algorithm designer. That means whoever the algorithm can be written, if the algorithm runs very fastly by taking less time complexity and less space complexity, then it can be treated as efficient algorithm. So that credit goes to algorithm designer. That means whoever writing the algorithm. Next point, the time complexity of an algorithm using priori analysis is the same for every system. Okay, it does not change. Once the algorithm analysis can be calculated, it is the same for all the algorithm designers. If you calculate correctly, suppose one person calculate the time complexity of linear search in worst case, that is big O of n. So this time complexity is the same for all the algorithm designers whoever analyzing the algorithm correctly. Okay. So this is the simple description about priori analysis. Next, we can go for posteriori analysis. The second one is posteriori analysis. Posteriori means after. Posteriori analysis means we have to analyze the algorithm after its implementation by using any programming language. In posteriori analysis, analysis can be done after execution of an algorithm. Next, in posteriori analysis, the analysis can be done by using any programming language compiler, and also we have to use some hardware for executing the algorithm. Next point, in posteriori analysis, it depends on the compiler and also it depends on the hardware, because for executing an algorithm by using a particular programming language, we have to require the compiler of particular programming language and also some hardware devices such as CPU, mouse, a keyboard. So these also are required. Hence, we can say that posteriori analysis depends on the compiler of the particular programming language and also hardware devices. Next point, posteriori analysis gives exact answers. That is nothing but how much amount of memory it takes, how much amount of time it takes for executing an algorithm. Because of that reason, we can say that posteriori analysis gives exact answers, whereas priori analysis gives approximate answers. Posteriori analysis depends on the compiler of the particular programming language and the hardware devices, whereas priori analysis is independent of compiler of particular programming language and hardware devices. Next one, posteriori analysis is costlier than priori analysis because posteriori analysis require some hardware devices and also compiler of the particular programming language to execute that algorithm. Next point, if the time taken by the compiler for executing the algorithm is variant from system to system. Suppose there are two systems are there. The same program or algorithm can be executed in one system. The same program or algorithm is executed in another system. So whatever the time required for executing for algorithm is for one system is 5 seconds. The time taken for executing the algorithm from the second system is 6 seconds. So that means the time taken for executing the algorithm is different from system to system. Whereas in the case of priori analysis, the time taken by an algorithm is calculated by the designer. So it is the same for system to system or a designer to designer. Next point. In posteriori analysis, we do not use asymptotic notations for representing the time complexity, because in posteriori analysis, the amount of time taken by the algorithm gives by the compiler, whereas in the case of priori analysis, the time taken by an algorithm can be calculated by the designer only. Here, the time taken by the algorithm can be calculated by the compiler of the particular programming language, so that we do not use asymptotic notations for representing the time complexity of an algorithm in posteriori analysis. Next one. So this point is already covered. Next point. Posteriori analysis can be done after executing of an algorithm or a program. So analysis can be done after its implementation. Then the name implies posteriori analysis. Whereas in the case of priori analysis, the analysis can be done only whenever we are writing the algorithm only, before its implementation. Analysis can be done before its implementation in priori analysis. Analysis can be done after its implementation in posteriori analysis. So this is the description about priori analysis and posteriori analysis. Okay, the summary point is, the analysis of an algorithm can be done in two ways. First one is priori analysis, second one is posteriori analysis. In priori analysis, analysis can be done before its implementation. In posteriori analysis, analysis can be done after its implementation. So this is the main summary point. I hope all of you understanding this video. If you have any doubts, please put your doubts in the comment section. I will try to clarify your doubts. If you really understanding this video, please subscribe my YouTube channel. So DIVVELA SRINIVASA. After subscribing my YouTube channel, click on the bell icon to get the future updates in my YouTube channel. Thank you one and all for watching this video.